Hey everybody, great to be with you right now in your group. I trust that you've had some good time of interaction and catching up on the week and life, and if you're a parent, kids and all of those good things. On Sunday, as a church family, we're nearing the end of the Beatitudes, and we'll continue in a couple weeks with the rest of the Sermon on the Mount. But you'll remember we covered two more Beatitudes in Matthew chapter 5, verses 8 and 9. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. With respect to the pure in heart, we discovered that what Jesus is getting at, the part of us, when he mentions our heart, is the core center of us. Yes, Jesus talks about behavior, but he doesn't talk about it nearly as much as the heart, because he knows and he tells us that it is the heart from which all of our attitudes, our dispositions, our speech, our actions come. Everything comes from the heart of us. It's the center core. And so what we see reflected in our life, the sin that we see reflected in our life, everything is a condition not of behavior, but it's a symptom of the heart problem. And so that should give us great hope, shouldn't it? That Jesus cares enough about you and me to go to the root of the issue and not just the surface stuff, behavior. And the gospel is that through faith in Jesus Christ, we're given new hearts. He purifies us from all of our sin. And therefore, we shall see God. When you became a Christian, you could say, yes, I saw God. Maybe not as you see one another in your group right now, or see me on this screen. But you can say, I've seen him. I've tasted him. He's transformed my life. And you see him and experience him in relationship, maybe in the study of his word or in prayer. You see him. You see him working in your life. And that's a very real experience. You've seen him because you've been given a clean heart through Jesus Christ. And what Jesus is also saying, and I believe ultimately saying, you will see God in fullness someday at his return. Paul says, for now we see in a mirror dimly, remember? But then we will see him face to face. Jesus is, I believe, pointing in all of the Beatitudes to that ultimate reality, where the dim mirror will be removed from our eyes and we'll see God face to face in unhindered relationship. But we need pure hearts to do that. So don't in our lives as Christians, we so often think about behavior, right? Change your behavior, change this, change your attitude. Look, we got to ask God to change this inside. And he does. And he does. I want you to talk about that through your questions that are provided with you in this study. But also there's the peacemakers, right? And there are a number of layers to what it means to being a peacemaker, but Jesus says, blessed or happy are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. And you'll remember that as we study Scripture, we see that God in his very nature is a God of peace. It's one of his attributes. And God, because of that nature or that attribute of his, of peace, he makes a way possible through Jesus Christ and his work, his death and resurrection, for us to have peace with him, because he's a God of peace. And when we put faith in Jesus Christ, all of the division that you and I have between God and you, it's gone. It's wiped away. The sin's gone. And you have full peace with him forever. You're in relationship with him. And the implication for that as we carry out our lives as Christians is God calls us, we're peacemakers. And so we have in us this desire that others around us experience and know the God of peace. And so through the book of Acts, everywhere you go in the New Testament, there's this hunger and desire for people to know the God of peace. And so they proclaim the gospel of peace through faith in Jesus Christ. And so to be a peacemaker, one of the things that it means, we'll talk about the other things that it means next week, but one of the things it means is you look at people differently. And you say, gosh, I so want that person, this person in front of me, to know the God of peace and how peace with him is possible through Jesus. And therefore, you speak to them in the hope that they believe. And so in all of this, my prayer is that you have a wonderful Spirit-led conversation and that you dive into the questions that are provided for you. And I'm looking forward to wrapping up the Beatitudes with you next week. But for now, may God bless you in your study. God bless.